Let me begin with a warning, and I want you to hear it, not with casual ears, but with every nerve in your body. If you are listening to this while distracted, if you are glancing between words while checking messages, if you are merely hearing but not focusing, then you need this speech more than anyone alive. Because the man who cannot hold his focus will lose his fortune. He will waste his youth. He will destroy his future. He will rob his family of their peace, their provision, their pride. He will die with every dream still locked inside of him, buried, not built. You say you want a better life. You say you want your children to look at you and say, "That's my father. That's my mother. That's the one who never gave up." You say you want the house on the hill, the freedom from debt, the power to choose how your day is spent. But I tell you now, you will never touch any of it if you do not fix your focus. You will speak big dreams but chase small distractions. You will start 10 things and finish none. You will age and still be explaining why you never got around to it. You will lie to yourself and say, "I tried." But the truth is, you never truly locked in. You cannot be a builder with a broken mind. You cannot be a father with a scattered spirit. You cannot be free if you obey every feeling, every mood, every little pull that grabs your attention. So I say again, if you are distracted, stop what you're doing and sit up straight. Breathe. Listen. This is not entertainment. This is not a passing idea. This is a life command. Because here is the truth. If you will train yourself to hold one thought, if you will master the law of directed attention, if you will learn to dominate your hour with purpose, then nothing will be denied you. You will finally feel what it means to finish. You will finally gain power over your day. You will walk into your work with spiritual armor on. You will watch others wander while you rise. You will see your children smile with pride, not pity. You will walk into the home you once dreamed of and say, "I built this. I did not drift. I held the line." And you will not just achieve your aim, you will become the kind of man or woman who achieves anything they choose, but only if you obey what you are about to hear. So I say to you, as one who has watched kings rise and dreamers die, this is the speech that will teach you how to hold the thought, how to direct the fire, how to work with power for 12 hours and not break. But it will require everything of you. Every word must be heard. Every idea must be felt. Every instruction must be acted on. Focus now or fail forever. Let us begin. Part 1. Attention is the gateway to all power. Attention is the gateway to all power. Without it, no thought can be held, no plan can be built, no purpose can be realized. The man who cannot fix his attention cannot fix his destiny. Attention is not a casual thing. It is your mind's obedience to your will. The man who rules his attention rules his world. Men speak often of talent. They speak of genius and memory, time and intelligence. But I tell you now, none of these mean a thing unless attention holds them in place. What is intelligence without direction? What is genius without persistence? What is time without control? All things are wasted without attention. Where your attention goes, your life goes. That is law. No man has ever succeeded who did not hold his mind on one aim until the work was done. And no man has ever failed who could hold a worthy thought through to completion. Failure is scattered attention. Success is focused thought backed by definite decision. Picture 2 men. One picks up a thought for 5 minutes. Then he puts it down and takes another, then another. His day is full, but his life is empty. Another man picks up a single thought in the morning and holds it. He repeats it. He returns to it. He works it like a blacksmith works steel. At day's end, he is no longer the same. The first man remains ordinary. He is always thinking, always talking, always moving, yet always unfinished. The second man becomes uncommon. He moves with direction. He acts by will. He finishes what he starts. And the world makes way for him, because the world bows to the man who can hold one thought longer than others. Henry Ford did not invent the motor car. He focused it. He held the thought of industrial power, of moving vehicles for the working man. He repeated it until it entered his walk, his speech, his negotiations, his factories. That one thought became a movement. It moved men, machines, and markets. Ford succeeded not because he had better tools, but because he had better attention. He focused until the world had no choice but to follow. He did not ask if it was possible. He held the thought until it became inevitable. And that is the difference between the drifter and the builder. One asks if he can. The other decides and then thinks of nothing else. You must understand, scattered thought is spiritual disobedience. The mind was not made to be passive. It was made to obey. To drift from one idea to the next without control is to betray the very power that makes you human. You were not created to wander. You were created to build. Control of attention is control of destiny. This is not philosophy. It is law. Every invention, every fortune, every empire began with a man holding a thought longer than the world expected him to. While others gave up, he returned to it. While others changed goals, he stayed. While others drifted, he built. If you cannot hold a thought, you cannot build a life. No one builds a house by changing the blueprint every hour. No one reaches a destination by taking a new road every mile. And no one fulfills his purpose who cannot obey it long enough to complete it. Obedience to one thought is obedience to life. Attention is not inherited. It is trained. It is a muscle of the will, and like any muscle, it grows by resistance. You must fight to hold a thought. You must command your mind to return. You must discipline your environment to match your focus. Nothing about focus is accidental. It is built. You will be tempted to check things, to switch tasks, to follow feelings. But the man who obeys his feelings loses his focus. And the man who loses his focus loses his throne. Because make no mistake, attention is a throne, and something will sit on it. Either you choose, or it is chosen for you. Let this be your declaration. I direct my attention as a builder lifts a stone. I do not scatter, I do not wander, I move in one line toward one aim. Speak it, write it, post it. Let your mind learn it until it becomes your law. You do not need more time. You need more control of attention. You do not need more motivation. You need more obedience to your focus. Because the man who holds one thought with intensity for 12 hours builds more than the man who chases 10 for 12 years. Part 2, the first law. Think of one thing only. Let us begin with this warning. The average man tries to hold 10 thoughts, 10 goals, 10 urgencies. And because he attempts all, he finishes none. He starts with fire and ends with ashes. His mind is not a blade. It is a cloud. And clouds do not cut through resistance. They move wherever the wind takes them. The brain is like a magnifying glass. It holds sunlight in its hand, but that sunlight does not burn until the lens is fixed. Until the glass is held in one spot, the light scatters and warms, but never ignites. Yet the moment it becomes still, fire is born. So it is with your mind. It can warm ideas, or it can set them aflame. The first law of all achievement is this. Think of one thing only, not for a minute, not for a burst, but with such persistence that the world begins to shift beneath the weight of your thought. Do not be fooled by men who juggle. They are entertainers, not builders. The builder uses both hands to lay a single stone. Carnegie was not a man of scattered interest. He did not seek to build 20 enterprises at once. He saw the empire of steel long before it existed, and he held that vision with a grip so firm the world had to yield. He imagined it, he planned it, he spoke it, he repeated it, and because he served one image became real. There is power in controlled imagination, but the imagination must not drift. It must not flirt. It must be chained to one object until it bleeds truth. The mind was not made to wander all day. It was made to obey a chief aim. The man who understands this walks with a pace that unsettles the world. Single-mindedness is not obsession. It is discipline. It is a form of moral law. When you say, "This is what I build," and then refuse to turn your face from it, that is not rigidity. That is spiritual maturity. That is mental kingship. That is how the uncommon man separates himself from the multitude. There was once a man who tried to achieve greatness by changing direction each season. 1 year in business, the next in study, the next in invention, the next in leisure. He always had reasons. He always had explanations. But when time passed, all he had were stories, because he never held one idea long enough to complete it. Success is the reward for the man who finishes, and no man finishes what he does not hold. No castle was ever built by a man who changed his blueprint each morning. No garden grows under a farmer who plucks the seed up each day to examine it. Growth is obedience to one direction, held without interruption. Let me now give you a principle for the day. Fix one goal. Hold it. Do not let your eyes or ears betray it. From the moment you wake to the hour you sleep, return to it again and again. Every distraction is a thief. Every drift is a departure. Let your task be the sun and your thought the lens. You will feel the pull to open other doors. You will remember other ambitions. That is not your truth speaking. That is your training. And your training has been untrained. You were raised in noise, conditioned to split attention, praised for doing too much, and now you must burn that past with focused fire. Say now with your voice, "I fix one aim and serve it only. I think of one thing, I see one result. I work as if no other path exists." Speak this aloud in the morning. Whisper it at noon. Declare it before you sleep. Let your mind learn the law of stillness until it becomes your rhythm. You are not made to pursue everything. You are made to pursue the right thing with all your strength. You do not need 10 paths. You need one you never leave. You do not need 10 hopes. You need one decision, obeyed. Part 3, the trick is not in doing more, but in thinking less. You have been taught that the man who does the most is the most productive. But I tell you now, this belief has ruined more lives than failure ever has. Because the man who tries to do more, who fills his day with tasks and his mind with noise, becomes scattered, divided, hollow. He multiplies confusion in the name of productivity. The trick to 12 hours of focused work is not more effort. It is not more hustle, more movement, more tasks. It is purity of thought. The man who burns through work does so not because he pushes harder, but because he pushes less often and more directly. He holds one idea, he returns to it, he builds with it, he does not multiply, he concentrates. A confused mind cannot build. A divided will cannot persist. A man pulled in 5 directions is 5 times weaker. The wise man does not add more effort, he subtracts distraction. He does not say, "How can I do it all?" He asks, "What can I remove, so I may hold what matters?" Thomas Edison did not achieve through busyness. He was not a man who filled his day with noise. He removed everything that did not serve the invention of light. He said no to comfort, to distraction, to social obligation. He simplified his life until the only thought remaining was the one that burned inside his mind. It is not your energy that is weak. It is your mind that is too full. You are trying to live 10 lives in one day. But your mind was not made for that. Your spirit was not designed for scattered pursuit. You are not a collector of thoughts. You are a commander of focus. And the commander chooses a single front and charges. You must now learn to reduce thought, not reduce ambition, not reduce belief, but reduce mental clutter. Every unchosen thought must be removed. Every opinion, every news item, every distraction must be seen for what it is, a thief of your thought, a robber of your rhythm, a destroyer of your inner empire. Abraham Lincoln, in the midst of war, eliminated all distractions. He refused to engage with matters that did not serve the preservation of the Union. He wrote his purpose. He repeated it. He held to it even when the world doubted. And because he thought of one thing only, the union lived. You must now do the same. Remove what is not your aim. Shut the door to anything that does not serve your direction. Let no man or thought interrupt the line you are building. Your focus is not a playground. It is a fortress, and you are the guard. Picture attention as a throne. Only one thought can sit on it. If 10 try, the throne collapses. And when the throne collapses, the kingdom is overrun. So you must choose. Who shall rule today? Your purpose or your mood? Your vision or your fear? Your decision or your doubt? You believe you are tired. You believe you are unmotivated. But what you are is mentally divided. Your fatigue is not of the body, it is of the mind. It is the weight of too many thoughts, too many half decisions, too many unfinished intentions. Clean the room, clear the throne, choose one. Say it with me now. I think less. I hold more. I remove distraction. I increase power by reducing confusion. This is not poetry. This is power. This is the law of efficiency. This is the secret of long hours without weariness. You are not overworked. You are over-interrupted. Today you begin the discipline of mental subtraction. One aim, one thought, one rhythm. Let the world scream, let others chase the wind. But you will walk a straight line. Part 4. Guard the gates. You must eliminate all intruders. You are not defeated by the great forces of the world. You are defeated by thoughts you never questioned, voices you let inside, and ideas you never gave permission to, but allowed anyway. Your mind is not a marketplace, it is a temple. And what enters that temple will either strengthen your altar or burn it to the ground. Most men are conquered by intruders, not by enemies who arrive with force, but by idle thoughts, by mental whispers, by subtle distractions dressed as logic or urgency. The worst destroyer is the idea you tolerate, the one you say just for a moment to, the one that steals 5 minutes of thought, then owns your hour. The mind must be defended like a fortress. You do not leave your doors open in a storm. You do not let a thief in just because he knocks. So why do you allow complaint, comparison, fear, envy, and worry to sit in the throne of your focus? Every moment spent in their presence weakens your hold on the day. There is a question that must now become your sword. Each hour, each thought, each sensation, ask yourself, does this serve my purpose? If the answer is no, the thought must be expelled. Not discussed, not entertained, not reasoned with, expelled. Your purpose is too sacred to share the stage with weakness. You must list the intruders by name, write them down, say them aloud. They are not harmless, they are destroyers. Complaint is a rust that eats your momentum. Comparison poisons your uniqueness. Self-pity breaks your back before you begin. Fear chains your decision. Urgency, the worst of them all, disguises itself as action, but is truly just panic in motion. Charles Schwab, once given the aim by Carnegie, became a man of laser discipline. He was not known for chaos, but for clarity. He built systems, refined orders, stripped down distractions. At Carnegie's command, he removed every act and thought that did not serve the definite goal of expansion and mastery. You must perform a daily purge. Before focus begins, the mind must be cleaned. Just as the builder sharpens his tools and clears the space before work begins, so must the thinker prepare the mind before purpose begins. Drift does not start with laziness. It begins with the tolerated thought. You will say, but it's just a quick worry or a little debate, a passing doubt. Number these are not harmless. These are termites in the structure of your mental temple. You may not see the collapse today, but the weakening has already begun. Let me now give you the practical law. Isolate the area of focus. Protect it with force. Remove everything not tied directly to your chief aim. This means your workspace, your schedule, your speech, your companions, and most of all, your thoughts. Every intrusion is an invitation to failure. You must become the sovereign of your own attention. No one has the right to your inner world but you. And no thought has the right to enter unless it has earned that right through alignment with your goal. Do not be hospitable to enemies of your progress. Say this now and write it where you can see it. I protect the gates of my mind. I allow only purpose to enter. I serve no thought that does not serve my aim. Let it become a morning oath. Let it become your hourly check. Let it be the sword that strikes down drift. If you master this, if you guard your attention as you would guard your most prized treasure, then the day becomes your servant. The hour becomes your instrument. The distractions lose their power, not because they disappear, but because you no longer answer their call. Part 5, Anchor Thought. Use this one phrase to command the mind. The average man loses his mind 100 times a day. Not to madness, but to noise, to random thought, to unguarded emotion, to distractions he never permitted, but never resisted. He begins with intention, but ends in confusion. Why? Because he has no center, no anchor, no fixed command to return to when storms arrive. Let me give you the secret now. If you will hold one phrase, one clear sentence, and repeat it throughout the day, you will return to power every time your mind wanders. This is not theory, it is law. Your mind obeys the voice it hears most often. And the mind, though infinite in capacity, is loyal only to repetition. The world will not slow down for your purpose. The storms will come. Fear will rise. Distraction will knock. And when it does, the man without an anchor will drift. But the man who has chosen his anchor thought and speaks it with emotion will return to power every time. Let us define it now. An anchor thought is a clear, simple, definite statement, aligned with your chief aim, that you repeat with feeling, especially in moments of distraction. It is the king's command. It is the compass in confusion. It is the rope that ties your spirit to your definite direction. Do not underestimate this power. In your weakest hour, you will not rise by logic. You will rise by instruction. And if you have not chosen that instruction beforehand, the world will give you one. And it will not be a good one. It will tell you to quit. It will say, you're tired. It will say, this doesn't matter. And you will believe it, if you have not prepared your answer. John D. Rockefeller, a man of astonishing concentration, began each day by speaking aloud a single line. I control my thoughts and my actions, not because he doubted it, but because he wanted his subconscious to obey it as law. He knew that emotionless thoughts do not shape identity, but repeated, emotional ones do. So now I give you this command. Write a phrase. Choose one sentence. It must reflect your aim, your identity, your command. It must be short. It must be spoken. It must be repeated. Not once, not twice, but every hour, until your mind hears nothing louder than your direction. This is how you reset attention. When fear rises, speak the anchor. When doubt whispers, speak the anchor. When you feel scattered, lazy, weak, uncertain, return to the command. Do not wait. Do not think. Do not argue. Just return to it, with breath, with belief, with repetition. Do not make it complex. One phrase, one aim, one voice. Here are examples. I move in one direction. I do not quit. I do not forget. My mind obeys my will. I think one thought. I follow one aim. I rise by focus. I reject all drift. I return to purpose. Choose the one that speaks to you, or write one that burns in your blood, but do not let the day begin without it. Do not let an hour pass without it. Let your anchor be more familiar to your ears than your name. Here is how to use it. Upon waking, before the world speaks, speak your anchor aloud. Repeat it until your mind feels it. Let it become the rhythm of your morning. Then every hour, pause, breathe, and repeat it again. Whisper it if you must. Shout it if you need to. But speak it. When you lose yourself in the chaos of tasks, in the confusion of the world, stop. Do not search for calm in others. Do not wait for the storm to pass. Instead, Command yourself back with your anchor. This is how the builder returns. This is how the king regains his crown. Let me now give you a truth you must never forget. A man who installs one powerful thought in his mind and repeats it throughout the day is more dangerous than a man with 1,000 wishes, because wishes do not rule, commands do. And the man who repeats a command until it owns his speech, his walk, and his work, he becomes that command. This is not mere motivation. This is law. It is the law of autosuggestion. The subconscious mind does not choose what to believe. It obeys what it hears with feeling. So feed it faith, feed it certainty, feed it repetition. And soon the old voice will die, and the new identity will rise. Now write this: I serve one aim. I do not leave the path. I walk in one direction. I return always to my command. This is your anchor. This is your sword. This is your staff in weakness, your compass in fog, your strength in war. Speak it until it is the loudest sound in your life. Part 6. Work like a man possessed, not by emotion, but by principle. You have been trained by the world to move when you feel like it, to act when the mood strikes, to wait for a sign, a surge, an emotion. But I tell you now, that is not how great men build. That is how drifters live. The man who works when he feels like it will one day beg from the man who works when he decides to. To focus for 12 hours, you must learn this law. Work like a man possessed, not by emotion, but by principle. Your feelings will rise and fall. They will come with the weather. They will shift with the hour. But the man who is ruled by principle walks through storms as if they were silence. He is unmoved because he does not wait for approval from emotion. The drifter checks his mood before he acts. The builder checks his decision. The drifter says, "Do I feel like it?" The builder says, "Did I promise it?" One is ruled by whim. The other is ruled by vow. And the vow is stronger than any passing feeling. Because a vow is not made to emotion. It is made to your future self. 12 hours of focused work is not frantic. It is not a mad rush. It is not fueled by anxiety. It is calm. It is directional. It is work done in the presence of law. You move not because you are excited, but because you are aligned. You are not rushing. You are obeying. Andrew Carnegie did not ask how he felt each morning. He did not poll his emotions before building one of the greatest industrial empires in history. He had one question: what must be done for the aim to be built? That was his compass. He lived by principle. He repeated his aim until feeling became irrelevant. The undisciplined man says, "Today I'm tired." The builder says, "I work regardless." The weak man says, "I need inspiration." The strong man says, "I gave my word and I will honor it." This is not stoicism. It is spiritual order. It is a life that runs on command, not permission. Here is the method. Each morning, begin with your declaration. Speak your anchor thought. Install your identity. Then remove emotion. Remove the idea that you must feel good to do good. Remove the thought that says your labor must feel easy. That idea has destroyed entire generations. Once the emotion is removed, install order. Create the plan. Write it. See it. Do not overthink it. Do not overfeel it. Begin the work. The first step done in obedience to purpose has more power than 1,000 feelings waiting for motivation. Understand this. Fatigue fades under clarity. You are not as tired as you say. You are undecided. And indecision wears the body faster than labor ever could. The moment you fix your aim, the moment you obey your principle, your energy will return. Not because you rested, but because you remembered. The builder does not ask, "What do I feel?" He asks, "What have I committed to?" He acts by direction. He acts by order. He does not sit around arguing with his feelings. He speaks his command. He moves. Repeat this with me now. I obey principle, not emotion. I act by direction, not delay. I do not ask how I feel. I do the work because I gave the word. This must become your law. Speak it until your emotions fear to interfere. You will be tempted to delay. You will be tempted to seek comfort. But you must say aloud, this is not my guide. My decision is my guide. My aim is my compass. My principle is my master. Say this until the storm passes, and when it does, you will still be working while others are still wondering. Part 7. Eliminate the clock. Install the rhythm. The man who watches the clock has already lost. He counts hours instead of conquering them. He seeks to survive time rather than command it. But the builder, the man of purpose, does not serve time. He installs rhythm. He does not measure his focus by minutes passed, but by the certainty of a task completed in full. Time is not your master. Rhythm is. Time will betray you. It will remind you of how long it's taking. It will make you feel behind or ahead. But rhythm never lies. When you enter rhythm, you no longer think about finishing. You simply work until it is done. That is not exhaustion. That is power. Thomas Edison was not a man ruled by hours. He did not stop at the strike of the clock, nor begin when the world expected. He entered into work like a man stepping into battle, with rhythm, not schedule. And because of that, he could work for hours without fatigue, for days without complaint. He was in harmony with his aim. Let us define this now. Rhythm is the mental state where your thought is so fixed, so continuous, so uninterrupted that time vanishes. It is the state where energy flows without checking the mirror. Where you do not count the task, you become the task. This is not mysticism. This is mental discipline. You must learn to begin with small wins. Do not say, I will work 12 hours today. Say, I will work until this first hour is ruled. I will command this hour so clearly that the next obeys me. Then the rhythm begins. One completed hour calls for another. One held thought deepens. The rhythm begins to carry you. You are not tired of work. You are tired of interruption. You are not worn down by effort. You are worn down by indecision, by distraction, by checking how long it's been instead of focusing on how much has been built. The moment you stop checking the clock, you start commanding the day. This is your new method. Replace time tracking with task devotion. Fixate on one task. Hold it. Complete it. Then move. Do not move by the hand of the watch. Move by the voice of purpose. Time should not release you. Completion should. Most men break their rhythm by comparison. They say, I've been working for 3 hours. So what? If the wall isn't built, the time doesn't matter. It is not how long, it is how fully. Did you hold your thought without distraction? Did you act without delay? Then you have won the hour. Fatigue is amplified the moment you check the time. The moment you wonder how far you've come, you lose sight of where you're going. Rhythm is lost, not by labor, but by mental departure. Stay in the work. Stay in the line. Let the world vanish. Say this with me now. I forget time. I remember rhythm. I do not watch the clock. I walk in command until the task is built. Let this be your sentence of re-entry. Speak it when the watch tempts you. Speak it when the mind wanders. Speak it when others complain about the hours, because you no longer live by hours. You live by rhythm. The focused man lives differently. He does not drift between tasks. He moves like a man walking across a narrow bridge. One step, 1 foot, 1 breath, no sideways glance, no wasted step, only forward motion. When you master rhythm, your entire experience changes. Hours pass like minutes. Work becomes flow. And success is not something you chase. It is something you live in one moment at a time without fear, without checking, without stopping. Part 8. The mind is a slave to repetition. Build the focus identity. You are not what you say you are once. You are not what you think once. You are not what you hope for when inspired. You are what you repeat. The mind does not form identity by insight. It forms identity by instruction, burned into it by constant emotional repetition. Repetition is the builder of rhythm. Rhythm is the master of identity. And identity, once installed, becomes the invisible law that governs all your decisions, all your movement, all your destiny. You do not rise to your goals. You return to your identity. And if you do not build that identity consciously, it will be built for you by drift. The world has taught you to chase motivation. I teach you to chase instruction. The world says, feel good, then act. I say, repeat what you must become until it becomes you. This is how the greatest builders were born, not by mood, but by daily command repeated until it owned them. Autosuggestion is not a myth. It is law. The subconscious mind is not wise. It is not intelligent. It is obedient. It accepts whatever you say most often, especially when said with emotion. If you speak of distraction, it becomes your ruler. If you speak of weakness, it becomes your form. But if you speak of direction, of focus, of aim, and repeat it until your voice echoes through your spirit, then it will bow. You must now take every principle we have learned and turn it into a daily repetition system, not just once, not just when you remember, but 3 times daily without fail, morning, midday, and night. These are the 3 hinges upon which your identity swings. In the morning, before the world speaks, you speak. Say your definite chief aim aloud. Say your anchor, thought aloud. Speak the words, I am a man of focus. I build my mind by command. I move in one direction, and I do not deviate. Repeat it slowly. Feel every word. Say it until you mean it. At midday, when the world is loud, when fatigue sets in, when others complain, return to your anchor. Say it again. Sit still if you must. Breathe. Repeat. Even if your attention has scattered, your voice brings it back. This is how the uncommon man regains power, not by force, but by repetition of truth. At night, when the work is done, you do not collapse into drift. You close the day by closing the mind. Speak your command again. Reflect. Did you hold the thought? Did you serve it well? If you failed, say so aloud, but then speak the correct thought again. Never sleep with drift in your mouth. Sleep with direction. You are no longer just doing the work of focus. You are becoming a man of focus. You are not just holding a thought. You are being transformed into the identity of the one who holds the thought, without question, without apology, without compromise. Do not underestimate how this works. You do not need inspiration to do this. You do not need perfect conditions. You do not need silence or a mountaintop or some sacred place. All you need is to speak the truth to yourself over and over again until the lie no longer fits your name. Say this now. I am not scattered. I am not weak. I am not distracted. I am focused. I am disciplined. I repeat truth. I obey law. I am a builder. I return to the aim every hour, every day, without fail. Repetition is not weakness. It is the womb of greatness. You did not learn your name in one day. You did not learn your habits in one week. You became what you are by what you repeated. And if you wish to become something greater, you must repeat something greater. This is why the law of cosmic habit force exists. It is not poetic. It is not symbolic. It is literal. Whatever thought you feed the subconscious with intensity and rhythm becomes your second nature. It becomes the soil from which your decisions spring without effort. This is how the natural man is made, not by talent, but by repetition-backed identity. Think now of Ford, who became so fixated on the thought of an affordable automobile for every working man that he refused to abandon the idea, even when engineers told him it couldn't be done. He repeated the thought. He enforced it. And that repetition shaped not only his company, but the very infrastructure of the modern world. Think of Edison, who told the world that the electric light would become reality. He failed thousands of times, not because he lacked intelligence, but because he refused to stop repeating the thought. The repetition held him through darkness. The repetition shaped his nerve, his action, his result. You must now build your focus identity the same way. Write down the sentence, I hold one thought all day. I serve one aim. I act with rhythm. I return to my command. I do not scatter. I do not drift. I do not delay. Read this aloud 3 times per day until you feel it. You must post your command where you can see it. Write it on paper. Place it on your mirror. Carry it in your pocket. Let your eyes see what your spirit must remember. Let no hour pass where the command is not near. Repetition brings the new mind. The new mind brings the new man. The new man brings the new results. That is the ladder. That is the law. And it is infallible. Let me now give you your final challenge. Take your anchor thought. Take your definite chief aim. Write them both down. Speak them in the morning. Speak them again at midday. Speak them again at night. Let no day pass without the rhythm of repetition. Let no drift enter without the sword of your command. You are not repeating words. You are forging identity. You are not just avoiding distraction. You are becoming the kind of man who can no longer be distracted. That difference is the key to everything. One is effort. The other is law. And you were born to live by law. Now speak this final declaration aloud. I hold the thought until it shapes me. I repeat until I become. I become until I command. I do not drift. I do not forget. I do not fail because I do not stop. This is your identity now. Speak it until it is written in your mind, deeper than your name. Let no man interrupt you. Let no voice inside you argue. You do not live by feelings. You do not live by noise. You live by law. You live by rhythm. You live by command. And from this day forward, you shall focus like a man possessed, not by emotion, but by purpose, because you have built the identity of one who cannot be moved.